Gengar, Gengar.
What's up, party people? It's the Cheshire Gengar here, and I'm here to show y'all a deck profile for my Blackwing deck that just went 4-1 at locals. It's a pretty interesting locals. I actually went against almost entirely meta-relevant things, and one deck that's about to become even more meta-relevant, even though it's more of a tier 2 or roguish deck at the moment. Could be better. But the way it went was tri-brigade 2-1 victory over them in round 1. Round 2, I beat Sky Striker 2-0. Round 3 was the weird round. I played Sky Striker again, a different person, and lost to that guy. I think it was 2-1 or 2-0. I can't remember. We both were going back and forth misplaying a lot. He was trying to afterburners my full armor master, and everyone watching was just looking at him like, okay, waste your resources, that's cool. Yeah, we were both misplaying all over the place. But anyway, the fourth round was the virtual world matchup, and I beat them 2-1. And then the final round was a hero matchup that went 2-0. So I ended up clutching out fourth place due to tiebreakers, and pretty good day. Went 4-1 for the most part, but I'll take y'all through the deck list. Not too much changes up between these day-to-day deck lists. I don't think I showed y'all, but I was testing out running the Parallel Exceed, since it was helping me chain block the Y-Strix in order to make sure those combos go off and don't get ashed. I kind of missed it this week, but it wasn't too bad. I might try to find a way back into it. But for the most part, I just focused on using other ways of protecting my combos and played a few more hand traps instead of none. So the way we have the deck, I'll again be trying out my crafting theory. So any of you watching, let me know how you like it. I'll run you through the deck, not just a straight list, but so much of why it's important to play these cards at these ratios. So the best card in the deck and your most important starter is always going to be Simoon, the Poison Wind. Cannot wait for Burst of Destiny when we get Small World, so that this becomes searchable. The Kaiju will go back in the main. It's in the side right now because the way Small World works is you get rid of one card in your hand by banishing it, and then you banish a monster from your deck that has either the same attack, same defense, same type, or same attribute, or same level, I believe that is. But only one of those things. And then you banish that card. And then you add a card from your deck to your hand that has the same restrictions with the second card that you revealed. So by banishing any Blackwing from your hand, you can banish the Kaiju from the deck because the only thing they have in common is being a dark. And then you can add Simoon because the only thing Simoon and Radiant have in common is being a dark. So it works out pretty well that way. You'll be able to search Simoon. So it's basically playing 6 copies of Simoon. So this is going to be great. It is your best starter. You really, really love seeing this. Next, we move on to the normal summons. The normal summons, you want to keep it low. Even though this deck loves normal summoning, you don't want to open multiple normal summons. If I have a Bora in my hand and have to normal summon it with a Whirlwind, that still lets me make plays happen. But if I open nothing but normal summons, the play is pretty much over. Or if I open 2 normal summons and 1 that can be special summoned, it makes the rest of the hand very awkward. So you want to keep it low. We only play 2 Zephyros and 2 Oster. You like seeing both of these in combination with Simoon or Allure. So like if you see Zephyros, Allure, and Oster, then you're set because you can banish the Zephyros and get it back with Oster. That's fine, or you can banish the Zephyros with the Simoon, search the Oster. You understand the plays. but those 4 being your main normal summons is entirely okay. Worked out for me. I rarely saw either of these 2 in multiples. It was very rarely that I saw both of these cards. It was very often that I saw both of these or Simoon and another Blackwing. So the hands worked out pretty well. Moving on, you really want to focus on your special summoning, and level 4s are very important, but also because of the Gen Buster and the extra deck, level 2s are also important. So we're playing 6 level 4 special summons in the 3 Chris and the 3 Bora, and also 6 level 2 special summons in the Gust the Back Blast and the Harmattan the Dust. You don't actually mind seeing just Harmattan and Gust, these 2, because you can always special the Gust, special the Gust, special the Harmattan. Harmattan targets the Gust and becomes a level 4, and then you can special summon anything else. I actually opened 2 Harmattans and a Gust, and you can still make full combo because you can special the Gust, normal the Harmattan, special the second Harmattan, target either, raise it by 2, and use those 2 to make your Y-Strix, and you still have a level 4 on board. So Harmattan's very good for being versatile. You either open it as an extender or open it with another level 2 and it becomes your level 4. So it worked out a lot with that. I had a few hands where I had to make it work, and it worked. To wrap up the Blackwings, we just have a Gale and an Orochi as an extender. I'm trying to find room for the second Gale. I don't really want to run 3 right now since this isn't a synchro heavy build. If I ever change this back to a synchro heavy, probably go second kind of build. If y'all would like to see that, let me know. But if I ever did that, then yeah, you'd run more Gales. But as an extender, the Gale's fine at 1. Then we moved into a couple of hand traps, just 2 Drolls and 2 Ashes. I mean, if you Ash in the right spot, it could shut somebody down. A lot of people can play through Ash, but this deck is fine going second. So if you slow them down just a little bit and make them not make the biggest board possible, you usually have a pretty good chance of breaking their board. Same thing with Droll. That's a very solid blowout card. Ash might come out for a more impactful hand trap in this format, but Ash is still pretty good right now for how wide range it can hit. On to the next part, Boots for the Phantom Knight stuff, and Raider's Wing for the Phantom Knight and Raid Raptors functions, since this card always counts as a Phantom Knight and a Raid Raptor card. It's very useful, and the monster that uses it as Xyz materials can't be targeted, which is going to become more and more useful as we get into certain cards in the meta that will be trying to get rid of your important cards. The last monster we played is actually a Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. I put this back in the main deck as a backup plan. The way it worked was, if I go Bora, Zephyros, Bora, Gale, and then make the Y-Strix, and they Ash the Y-Strix, I'm pretty much locked out of going full combo. So the plan B is to go into the Samorg link with the Y-Strix and the remaining Blackwing, and then drop the Barrier Statue. And depending on the matchup, that can just be straight up a win. But again, that's only as the backup plan. Also, once you know what you're playing against, the Arsenal Falcon, that level 4 that it can summon from the deck during that combo in order for you to not have any materials under it, it doesn't have to be a level 4 dark winged beast. It just has to be a level 4 winged beast, so you can actually summon Barrier Statue at the end of the full combo, which is pretty devastating to most people. They'll have to normal summon in order to try to, like I did the Salamangrates, they had to normal summon in order to try to attack over the Barrier Statue, and the Redoer just put the normal summon back on the top of their deck during battle phase. It's a good amount of protection. For the spells and traps, it's just basic 3 Whirlwind, 3 Allure. That's the basic stuff. 2 chalice for, I like quick plays more right now because you can either, if you happen to go second losing the dice roll, then fine, you can use chalice to get rid of some interruptions, but you can just set it if you need to. And then same thing with Mystical Space Typhoon, especially for hitting those continuous spelling traps. You hit the what's it called? Any of their field spells. The field spell can't resolve, especially the Alistair, the invoked field spell, the meltdown. Yep. Then we have Called by the Grave, your 2 rank up magics, and your Shade Brigade. So that's it for the spell and traps. It's pretty straightforward, not too much fanciness happening there. Just good utility cards. Make sure you have a couple of back rows just in case you get Mystic Mind, which I did against the Virtual World player? Yeah, I think the Virtual World player Mystic Minded me game 2, and we sat there for a couple of turns, but a card in my extra deck made him also not be able to play the game, or in my side deck made him not play the game. When I went first, I dropped this, then he dropped mine, and we kind of just sat there watching each other until we could out it. I kind of actually forced him to out his own mind so he could try to play the game. We have 2 Radians in the side deck. It's just for those big things that can't be killed with card effects. Dark Ruler No Mores can just shut down an entire board. 2 Lightning Storms. Sometimes you need those extra monster or back row removals. And then the Spice came in. Oh yeah, we have a Zeus in the side deck just because going first, I'd rather have that slot in my extra deck be used for better going first decks, or better going first monsters. But when I'm siding in, knowing I'm going second, then of course I'll side this in, attack with an Xyz, drop a Zeus. That's fine. Zeus is fine in the side for this deck. The Spice was 3 Summoning Curse. What this card does is continuous spell. When a monster is special summoned, the controller of that monster chooses a card from their hand and removes it from play. And during each of your end phases, you pay 500 or destroy that card. So you play it, you take 500 at that end phase, and now every time your opponent would special summon on their turn, they have to banish a card from their hand. This murders Drytron. It murders any summon heavy deck. It completely gets rid of any advantage they would have gained by them having to banish a card out of their hand every time they special summon a monster. And also, it's the controller of that card. So if I kaiju you while this is on the field, you control that monster, so you're banishing one out of your hand because I kaiju you. It's a very interesting Spice card. And the last Spice in the extra the main side deck was 3 German gold rare Mass Change 2 Maskenwechsel and a Dark Law. Whole deck's dark, so you usually have no problems just going into this. And since Shadal and Sky Strikers are some of the hardest matchups for this deck, since you can shut down everything on their field with the Kali Yuga, but things that activate in hand and graveyard, like the Virtual World stuff, that was annoying because all the stuff they activate in hand, they didn't get negated. So the Dark Law really helps with all the stuff they're trying to send to the graveyard getting banished instead. Alright, that's all for the main deck. The extra deck, oh yeah, that's it for the main deck and side deck. The extra deck was a full armor master, which came in clutch a lot of the time. It's just very good for being able to take your opponent's monsters or blow them up. And also, it's just intimidating to have a 3k over 3k unaffected by all card effects. Like I said, the Sky Striker dude, he tried afterburning this because they don't read card effects for whatever reason. We have a Borreload Savage Dragon because depending on what you open with, you can... I believe the strongest board I ended on was the Gen Buster, this with Strix equipped, and then also I had the Rusty, the Redoer. Trying to think. the Arsenal Falcon with no materials and the ability to go into the the Kali Yuga on my opponent's turn. That was a very strong board. You had two monster negate and omni negate. The Rusty with the pop if I had linked or exceeded into anything else, which was a bluff basically. And then the Kali Yuga, of course, which shuts down all the field effects, and the Redo are taking a card off the top and compulsing something to the top of their deck or back to their extra deck. It was really difficult for most people to get through that. That's how I 2-0'd the hero player, just dropping the full board since he didn't open a hand trap. Unchecked, this deck will beat you. If you do open a hand trap, you might survive, and it really just depends on which hand trap you open, because Droll did not help him because I opened too many Blackwings in my opening hand. I didn't need to search. Anyway, moving on. Nathung, the Starlight, it is staying in here, especially after this past weekend. I won in time against the virtual world player because he Mystic Minded me while I had the that summoning curse on the board, and we went back and forth a few turns of me taking 500, and then I got down to 6,500, and I'm like, you know what? Nope, just let it die. He tried to play, but he had already put Mystic Mind on the board, and I had linked into the Rusty in order to make sure that I had less monsters. So once he got to 4 monsters, he realized, well, darn, now I can't do my effects and keep the combo going. And then he's either got to let me keep my monsters on field, which was a full armor master was one of them. And he kept activating effects until he got to having more monsters than me. And it really just, the Mystic Mind bit him in the butt. So he ended up popping it with one of his own card effects. And that freed me up to kill him on the following turn. But Nathung won me the game in time because he went first. I thought he plays this, which is crazy. It's generic level 6 synchro monster that burns your opponent for 800 on summon. He has this in his extra deck and did not open the ability to play, or the ability to make it. So he made a weak board past turn with 2 cards set, and I'm like, alright, if either of those is impermanence, it's a tie. But I opened some Moon and a Blackwing, and you do that, get Oster, get Harmattan, make this burn for game. Burned him in time for game. He did not have the impermanence or a chalice to negate this, and that was all I needed, so I won the game. Moving on from that, I had the Shrek, the Ominous Omen in the extra deck. It's a fun level 4 Dark Winged Beast to play. It's a 3,000 attack points. It's got good arrows. You do a lot of special summoning of Winged Beasts, so you can trigger his effect every turn. It was just very, very useful, especially when you have the IP to make him on your opponent's turn. A lot of people don't see it coming. So then you have a Samorg, Bird of Sovereignty. Samorg is very, very useful for that backup plan I was talking about, but also I made him as a turn 3 after they were able to use Forbidden Droplets and some other things to out my board, but not kill me. And then I made Samorg, Bird of Sovereignty, brought out the Barrier Statue, and sat on that, coasting to a win. Then they managed to use Droplets to get rid of the Barrier Statue and this, or by getting rid of their effects since they weren't targeted. Popped them with Access Code Talker. Still didn't kill me. So I made Borreload Savage and equipped this. There was a lot of things that happened in that game. It was that one Sky Striker matchup was really, really difficult. But that was my only loss, so I'm okay with that. The other rank ups, or not rank ups, Link monsters are the Rusty Bardiche, the Ystrix, which I'm still trying to find room for a second one because I do believe you should play 2. Might have to drop the Shurig, which is not a choice I want to make, but we'll see. IP Masquerena, DDD, Duodon King, Kali Yuga, which as soon as it hits board, you pretty much have won the game. 35 over 3k and a quick play, heavy storm. There's nothing to not like about that. We have the Raid Raptors Arsenal Falcon, which is major combo piece. The Ark Rebellion and the Raiders Knight, which clutched me out so many games where my opponent makes things that are just really annoying. And it's like they make a huge board, but not that many monster negates. Heroes do that especially, and it just doesn't matter when you have 2 level 4 Blackwings, make Raiders Knight, make Ark Rebellion, and take all of those life or attack points and swing for over 10,000 damage. And it absorbs the original attack points. So when I use Gale to cut a monster in half, and Ark Rebellion tries to take attack points, it's taking your original attack points while you stay at half your attack, and it runs over so many things. Forstrix, because combos. Redoer, because combos. Gen Buster, because it's a great protection when you open multiple level 2s and can make the anti-Nibiru combo. And yeah, that's it for the extra deck. It was very effective this weekend. It took out most of the competition. Again, most of the matchups were meta or right below meta. 2 Sky Strikers, a Virtual World, and a Tri-Brigade. And then there's the hero player. So I only lost to one of the Sky Strikers, beat the other, mostly through misplays. I lost that one, but you know, it happens. You just gotta get better and not misplay so much. So yeah. The Tri-Brigade matchup, Sky Striker matchup, Virtual World, and Heroes were the wins. And it was a pretty good weekend. Got 4th place. Can't complain. Gonna try to leave it roughly the same. Maybe change up the side deck or try something instead of that Ash Blossom. We'll see. If I do get higher than that or 1st place or whatever happens, I will let you guys know. Till then, let me know what decks you want to see. I'm currently working on the Megalith Drytron build right now. I'm gonna play the Vendread stuff in it because I love that Vendread Battle Lord combo where you shut down your opponent's deck or your opponent's ability to interact with you for the rest of the turn with monster effects. No Nibiru, no Ash, no nothing. Yeah, stuff like that. I've got plenty of decks in the works, so I would love to hear what you guys would like to see. Go ahead and vote down in the comments if you want to see the Megalith Drytron Vendread deck next, the Time Thief deck next, or the S-Force deck. All of those will be pretty interesting and pretty aggressive decks. There'll be mostly go first or go second decks. I'll probably focus more on go second since those are my favorites. But I also have a generator deck that I have pretty much done, and if you'd like to see that, I'll go ahead and post that as well. I probably will anyway, just because it's so fun and it lets me use Xyz Import and abuse that card. But yeah, you guys like, comment, subscribe. Please comment. That's the most thing I'm more interested in. I'd love to interact with y'all, get your thoughts. If you have any questions on how the deck works or what cards should or shouldn't be played in this, please let me know. I love having discussions on Blackwings. I get the comments all the time at locals like, how is he at table 2 right now with Blackwing? And I just know the deck. I love playing the deck. I've been playing it since it came out back in 2007 or 8. It's been a long time, and I love this deck and probably will never actually stop playing it, especially when you get more support coming like Small World. If I can get some proxies of Small World, that would be fantastic. But Burst of Destiny's coming out soon anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I already got my case bought, so I will definitely be doing whatever I can to get those secret rare playset. But yeah, you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see. Let me know any questions. All the conversation down in the comments below. But anyway, this is Cheshire Gengar, and y'all have a good day.